Good morning, grade 2. I realize you can't see me. You are seeing your copy of your lesson worksheet 113, but this actually goes with our lesson from last Friday. And so I'm going to do two separate videos, one that just shows what to do from this worksheet from last Friday, and then you'll have to watch a separate video to go through what you have for Monday, for today. Alrighty. So what I need you to do is take out this worksheet and your pennies. I'm not going to have you actually doing your pennies right now, but this is how you want to do it, okay? So for each one, what I did just to save time is I already looked at my 25 pennies. Each of you should have a bag with 25 pennies. And you know, on that penny, on the front side of it, where you see the picture of Abraham Lincoln, just to the right, kind of by his chest, there is a date. You could think of it as the birth date of a penny. It's when it is minted. I don't know if you'll be able to see it clearly here or not, but for each of your pennies, it's going to be located right here. Okay, and I realize you can't really see with the glare of the light what date this is on my penny. Okay, oh yes you can. For a second it was in, maybe if I can stop shaking, it'll be able to be in focus. Not anymore. All right, so anyway, it says 2012. So I look at my penny and then I go to the top part. You want to go to this top bar to start out with. And 2012. Now, where would that fall between? Well, that would go in the column that says from 2005 to now. 2012 is after 2005. So I'm going to make a tally mark in that box, okay, for 2012. Now, I'm not going to have you look at each penny with me each time. I already did that just to save time a little bit, but let me show you how we do this then. So my next penny was 1983. And so I look at all of mine, not before 1980. 1983 would fall right here, 1980 to 1984. 1983 is in that box, so I make a tally mark there. And notice I'm giving myself some space in case I have to go down into the second row there. My next penny was from 2007. That's way back over here again by the 2005 to now. So there we go. I've got 3 pennies down. My next one was 1988. So 1985 to 1989, my 1988 penny goes there. Next, I had an old one, 1959. I hope you have some old ones too. 1959, so that is before 1980. So I put a tally mark there for 1959. Then I had 2011. 2011 would go here again. 1989. 1989 would go in this one from 1985 to 1989. 1997. 1997 would go after 1995, but before 1999, so 1997 goes here in that box. 1990. 1990 in the box that says 1990 to 1994. I had a brand spanking new one, 2019, so that definitely goes in the 2005 to now. And then another 2012. So here I cross over with my tally marks. 1974, that is before 1980. So I had another one that was 1974. 1998, that will be right here in the 1995. 1996 will be in that same spot. 1996. 1980. Oh, not before 1980, but from 1980 to 1984. So my 1980 penny goes in that second box. 1983 goes in that same box. 2015. Come back over here. 1979. Another one before 1980. 1967. Another one before 1980. 1974. I had a few old ones here, didn't I? I have to do my tally mark across. 2015 goes way back to the other side. 1961. So making that one right there. 1998 would go in the 1995 to 1999 one. And my last one was 1967. 1967 would be before 1980. And so now the next thing that I would do is I would total up your tally marks and make sure you have 25. All right, so here we have 7. 3 more is 10. 2 more is 12. 1 more is 13. 4 more is 17. None in that range, did we? Not in the 2000 to 2004. And 5, 6, 7. Uh-oh, I'm missing a penny. Ah, here it is. I see the one that I didn't give you, and that's another 2012. So that goes right here. All right, so 7 plus 3 is 10, plus 2 is 12, 13, 17, and then 8 more for 25 pennies. You each should have 25 pennies, okay? If you don't have 25 to start out with, it's okay. Do it with however many I gave you. But hopefully you each have 25, okay? So now we're going to do the next part, okay? We're going to take this information that we have here on the top of our page, that we have 7 in this column, 3 here, 2, 1, 4, 0, and 8, and we're going to transfer that information down to the next part, down on the bottom here. I folded my paper a little bit just so that we could see, to start out here, some of the top and some of the bottom at the same time. Now notice that our graph is counting by 2s, 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. I've folded up the 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Your whole sheet has all of those, okay? So what you'll need to do on your own is first make tally marks for the mint date of your pennies. That's their birthday date. Then take that information and put it on the graph. So if we look at our pennies before 1980, I have 7. All right, so 0, 2, 4, 6, 7 is going to fall halfway between 6 and 8. So I'm going to draw a line where I'm going to stop. And then I'm going to shade in the bottom portion of my graph for all the pennies I had that were before 1980. All right, and then I look at from 1980 to 1984, I had 3. So again, 0, 2, 4, I have to go in between the 2 and the 4, don't I? Because 3 goes between 2 and 4. So I draw my line and carefully color in. And you can just use your pencil. I'm using a colored pencil just to try and have it show up a little bit better for you. Sometimes it seems like when I use a regular pencil, it doesn't show up quite as well for you when I'm working. All right, our next one, 1985 to 1989, that goes to 2. So we're going to go right to that line for the 2. We won't go above it. We won't go below it. Go right to the line for number 2. What about 1990 to 1994? 1. So we again have to split our box in 2 and have just half of it colored in. That gives us 1. 1995 to 1999, for me I had 4. I hope you're not coloring in yours yet, okay? Unless you had already done your mints, because you're not just copying me, you're doing what you had for your pennies, okay? And that will most likely be different. It'd be quite unlikely if we had exactly the same. I suppose it could happen, but it would be quite unlikely. Now for 2000 to 2004, we had 0, so we don't color in anything at all. We color in nothing at all there. And then our last one, 2005 to now, is 8. And so we go right to that 8 mark. And there you go. Now it's possible that you could have more than 20 if you had a part of your coins that I gave you were all brand spanking new, but I don't think anybody's going to have that. If you would just have to continue your graph a little bit higher using your pencil to make your lines go higher, but you should be okay. All right, there we go. So our graph is all done, and it shows the information that we had up on top with our tally marks. And now we're almost done. So I would use that information then to answer these questions on the bottom. So for my pennies, how many pennies were minted in the years 1985 through 1989? So I would look at my graph and I can see 2. So for me, I would write the number 2. It might be a different answer on your page. How many pennies were minted after 1989? So then I have to look at all of these columns here. After 1989, I have 4 and 1 is 5, and then 5 plus 0 is still 5. 5 plus 8 is 13. So I had 13 pennies minted after 1989. Which column has the most pennies? For me, it was 2005 to now, but just by 1. The ones before 1980, they had 7. I was surprised. I think that's the most I've had in old pennies in a long time for doing this activity. So I hope that helps you to know what to do for your mint date of pennies worksheet. Finish up your worksheet and then make a copy of it and send it to me, and I will grade it for you. Alrighty, have fun. Oh, by the way, do you know the trick if your penny is really old and or has gotten, even if it's not old, if it's gotten green or yucky on it and you can't see it? Try putting it in a little bit of Coca-Cola and see if it'll come off and be shiny clean. Your parents might have some other tricks for you too. All right, we'll talk to you soon. Thanks.